by all means, but this is just from my perspective. Your perspective might be different. You might say, Esther, you're full of shit, and it's awesome to have 1 hour hardstyle set. Okay, cool. Yep, no worries. I'm not here to try and force everyone to gotta do it this way. Nothing like that. I'm just sort of sharing you my point of view and what I think contributes to a much better balanced and more exciting set, particularly when we're dealing with taking an audience on a journey. Wanting to create an experience for the mix. Taking musical journey through the mix. Now, I've mentioned that a few times. What is he on about? Yes, musical journey. Well, when I look at unfortunately, some of the older DJ sets. I remember when I watched, this was, oh my god, maybe 10 years ago, when I watched Armin van Buuren play. When he played that 1 hour or so set, it took you to a different place. It was more than just a set, it was an experience, it was a journey. When it finished, you felt like you could conquer the world. And you felt so just amazing after it. You felt like you had left all the things in the past and just gone somewhere. And as things have progressed, as the genres have changed, and that was a time of progressive house, that vibe, 2012, 2013, things became more, intense. Dubstep really started taking over, and other genres came about, and it became very much, and I think even Avicii sort of snarked at this a little bit as well. It became very heavy orientated, heavy drops, heavy, start off super heavy, build up even heavier, and then drop heavy, and then just one big sort of segments of big intense EDM drops. There've been even, I've watched YouTube clips where they just cut everything on the drop sections, and now that became like popular, just those drop sections. I feel now that craze is sort of finished, but I think that sort of hardstyle's taken over that craze, and it's now basically a sort of 150 BPM orgy for an hour and a half. After 15 minutes or 20 minutes, Melbourne Bounce, for example, is huge. Not anymore. And even when, Melbourne Bounce is great, but not for an hour, and not for 2 hours, and not for like the whole night. After an hour, it starts numbing my brain at least. And the minimalistic drops just become annoying after a while. Because it's the same thing. It's the same tempo, it's the same thing over and over and over again. Very little changes, and it just becomes annoying after a while. And that's how I feel about, super intense sets that are only in one genre. And when you just play hardstyle for an hour and a half, you're trying to sort of, you're forcing it to be, super hard. I don't know, I don't know what the audience needs to be on for it to be that intense. Hardstyle is fantastic. 10-15 minutes of hardstyle is awesome. You need to have, at least for me, you need to have blends. Now, this isn't to say that don't do the hour and that's it, by all means, but this is just from my perspective. Your perspective might be different. You might say, Esther, you're full of shit, and it's awesome to have 1 hour hardstyle set. Okay, cool. Yep, no worries. I'm not here to try and force everyone to gotta do it this way. Nothing like that. I'm just sort of sharing you my point of view and what I think contributes to a much better balanced and more exciting set, particularly when we're dealing with taking an audience on a journey. To take this journey, you need to have peaks and troughs. You need to have the aggression, and then the softer moments, the tension and the release. You need to have the happy, the sad. You need to have a plethora of life's journeys in an hour or so. Jeez, why am I always burp so much of this? feel like some like acid reflux or something. It's not just, you know, drop after drop and just a little bit something in between just to connect the two songs together and cram in as much as you can. In certain moments, that's cool. In certain, like, you know, pockets where you want to have that intensity. But you're gonna have the quieter moments, you're gonna have the blends, you're gonna have different breakdowns, transitions, melodic moments, just to give people a bit of, you know, space. And then when you have the quieter moments, the more intense moments become, you know, even more intense. Metal music is fantastic at this, you know. Oh geez, off the top of my head, Anthrax does this really well. System of the Down, a great example of being able to do this. Jet, great example of being able to do that. It hits different because you have that change. You have, you know, and it just amplifies the music because the heavy moments are like then heavy because you have that contrast. With that in mind, when we are talking about this you know, this contrast, we are taking this journey, musical experience for your audience, for the mix. One of the ways we do that is by creating unique moments throughout. So not only do we want, you know, the happy, the sad, we want different genres, we want different tempos, etc. We also want to create interesting moments that people, you know, perhaps will remember them. Not only that, but then when you are playing a few sets, you know, for example, on the weekend, you can do something different every time. Every time you do it, it's going to be unique.